Okay, this is a very quick video on how to sketch the bell curve when you know the mean and standard deviation. Okay, so this is the standard normal distribution with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. And I've shaded in from 0 to 1. And I want you to notice right at the right side of the purple region is we line up with what's called the point of inflection of the graph. Right? That is the steepest part of the graph. So from from x equals 0 out to x equals 1, the graph is getting continually steeper. It looks a little bit like an upside down parabola. That's called it's concave down when it looks like an upside down parabola roughly. But right after that point, it begins to curve the other way. Okay, so it becomes less and less steep beyond there. So it becomes concave up after that because the region to the right looks a little bit like an upward parabola. So that is concave up. So right at one standard deviation, the graph switches from being concave down to concave up. So if you needed to graph a bell curve, you would want to make that point of inflection roughly at one standard deviation. The same thing is true over at -1. We have about the same feature. There's complete symmetry for the bell curve, so that would be true. Now, if I were to change the average value, and let's just make it, say, 10 with a standard deviation of 2, and let's fill in from 10 up to 12. Okay, so 12 would be one standard deviation above 10. We can see a similar thing. So if you needed to draw a bell curve with an average of 10 and a standard deviation of 2, you would make sure it's centered on 10. And at 12 and also over at 8, those are where your points of inflection would be. So then you could quickly sketch a bell curve and then shade in regions that you for showing probabilities like I asked you to do on the homework.